Hey everybody, last night's game was postponed due to the effects of the recent hurricane. You know what that means? Doubleheader, baby. All right, we got our first strange Corona Ball day today. Other than the wacky schedule and all that, there hasn't really been too much different other than no fans. But today, we're getting our first major change to baseball. 2 7-inning games in a doubleheader. This is what they do in a lot of college games. This is what they do in like the local men's leagues games that you might see. If you play a doubleheader, you shorten it up. How do I feel about it? Let's see how it goes. Honestly, 2 9-inning games, especially with the potential that either one of those games could go extra innings, that's a lot of baseball in one day. It's a lot of sitting around and watching baseball, and it's tough on the players to play. Usually the toughest part about playing a doubleheader is how hot it is, especially during August. But today it's only going to be 87 degrees in Philadelphia. We just had a ton of rain come through because of that hurricane, so it may be humid, it may be uncomfortable, but Major League dugouts do have air conditioning. Guys can always go back into the clubhouse. Also, I think the Yankees are going to rest a lot of guys today and use this doubleheader as an opportunity to get some guys into the lineup who maybe haven't gotten enough at bats. You're going to see Tauchman, you're going to see Andujar, you're going to see Mike Ford, you might see Tyler Wade, you're going to see Higashioka. Also, right now the rosters are currently sitting at 30 players, but in a couple of days those are going to reduce down to 28, and they're going to remain at 28 for the remainder of the season. There had been talks that eventually the rosters would come down to 26, but given the number of coronavirus infections and things like that, they want to keep enough guys on the roster in case of an emergency. So, like I said, this is going to be an interesting day. The Yankees, at this point in the video filming, have not announced their starting pitchers for today, but they will face Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler, 2 pretty good pitchers for Philadelphia. Zach Wheeler is a powerful right-handed pitcher, got a good fastball. Aaron Nola a couple years ago was one of the best pitchers in baseball. He had like a 10.2 WAR, which is higher than Garrett Cole had last year. And he's a strikeout guy. He's got good movement on the ball. He's going to give the Yankees a lot of trouble, I think. If I'm the Yankees, I'm debating carefully which game I want to put Gary Sanchez in there for, because he's really been struggling at the plate. So you want to go with the guy who's going to throw the most number of fastballs, because right now Gary is just whiffing and whiffing on sliders. Gary Sanchez, though, I think is going to be fine. He's been showing good signs. He's a very streaky hitter. Right now, the papers are all over him, and the Facebook groups are all over him. A lot of you in the comments have been all over Gary Sanchez, but I believe in Gary Sanchez. I think that he's going to put it together at some point in the near future. Would not surprise me if he breaks out today. He's had a day off to rest, to get his mind right. He's out in New York. He's away from the media pressure cooker, and I feel like he's due. You know, there's only a certain amount of at-bats you can have before Gary Sanchez runs into one, and he's going to run into one eventually. So once you get those first couple of hits, first couple of home runs out of the way, then he can kind of take the pressure off of himself. He's just one of those guys that, you know, he puts a lot of pressure on himself, and so he's very streaky. When he gets hot, you know, he feels good, he feels confident, and he can go a month where he's just raking. But then he can also go a month or 2 months or even an entire season. We saw a couple years ago he hit like 187. He can go a long time without hitting. In the long run, I'm not sure that Gary Sanchez is going to remain a Yankee. I love Gary Sanchez as a player. He's one of the few jerseys I've purchased. But, you know, his ability to be consistent definitely comes into question. But right now, there's just nobody that you can replace him with that's going to do a better job, that's going to be more dangerous with the bat. I think Gary Sanchez, once he learns to lay off the slider, once he learns to recognize pitches a little better, I think he'll get better. I think he'll become a better hitter. He's never going to be a guy who hits 320. You know, he's probably not going to be a guy who hits 280 ever again. He's a 220, 230 hitter with a ton of power. He's like a right-handed Joey Gallo, although Joey Gallo's, you know, getting more hits now. But when Joey Gallo first came up, you know, it was like strikeout or home run. Gary Sanchez is very similar. You know, he's not a guy who's, you know, gonna get a ton of base hits, a ton of singles. He's up there to try and mash the ball into the seats. And a lot of times he does. He's got a very good home run rate. He led all catchers in Major League Baseball last year in home runs. But I'm not 100% confident that, he's got the mental fortitude to survive prolonged slumps like this with the New York fan base, because people are just all over him. But I think he's going to be fine. I look for him to bust out today, but I would definitely put him in there against whoever's going to throw more fastballs. To me, that's probably Zach Wheeler. Okay, let's take a look at the updated standings for Major League Baseball in 2020. The Yankees, of course, with the best record in baseball, 8-1, 889 winning percentage. They are undefeated at home. They are 4-1 on the road. Orioles in second place. They would make the postseason if it started today. Rays off to a slow start at 5-6. Blue Jays 3-5, but they're a good team. And the Red Sox bringing up the rear at 3-8, 273 winning percentage. That's not good. Hate to see it. The AL Central, Twins leading the AL Central and leading baseball with 9 wins. They are 9-2, 818 winning percentage. So there's been a lot of talk about whether or not the Yankees are too reliant on the home run. Well, the Twins are also very reliant on the home run. And what do those two teams have in common? They're both doing a ton of winning. That's the way you score in Major League Baseball right now. With all the shifts that you've got, the easiest way to score runs is not to string singles together. It's to get a walk and hit a home run. That's the easiest way to score in baseball right now, and the Twins are very good at that, so are the Yankees. The White Sox, 7-4, off to a good start. The Royals bringing up the rear in the Central. And out west, the Athletics leading the AL West at 7-4. The Astros at 6-4. Angels at 4-7. Ohtani has been shut down from pitching for the rest of the season. The Rangers are 3-6, and the Mariners are 4-8. No surprise there. The thing about the Astros is that I hate them. I hate them very much. But they are a good team. However, I don't see them beating the Yankees this year. I mentioned in my podcast the other day, or one of my pre-games, they all run together now. I do like 3 videos a day. But the Astros don't have Verlander for the whole season, and they lost Garrett Cole to the Yankees. Those were the 2 main reasons that the Yankees lost the ALCS last year. Okay? If you're facing the Astros again this year, their biggest strength has been taken away. And also the Yankees are going to be very motivated to beat them based on what happened in 2017. Aaron Judge is a guy who is very competitive, right? And he didn't like what happened in 2017. He's on a mission this year. I think he's going to destroy the Astros. Mark it right now on your calendar. If the Yankees play the Astros in the ALCS, if there is an ALCS this year, Aaron Judge will be the MVP of that series. He will destroy the Astros. Okay, so I mentioned at the top of the video that we didn't have starters yet for today's games. Well, now we do. First game will be Happ versus Zach Wheeler. Second game will be Jordan Montgomery versus Aaron Nola. I like this matchup. Aaron Nola is a tough pitcher, and Jordan Montgomery is the best guy that the Yankees could run out there today. So that gives the Yankees the best chance in Game 2. Happ, I thought, was okay his first start, even though the numbers aren't great. His first couple innings, he just wasn't good. He was just hitting a lot of bats, but he settled in as the game got along. He's a guy who's been around a lot. He's a good pitcher. He's a professional. He's pitched in Philadelphia before, so he's familiar with the mound, the ballpark. So I look for J-Happ to bounce back a little bit today. Today's game is going to come down to how the Yankees offense handles a couple of power pitchers, because they haven't seen any power pitchers all season other than Max Scherzer. So we'll see how it goes. The Yankees play at 4 p.m. today. Game 2 will start 30 minutes later. They're both 7 innings. So order a pizza, sit down, and like and subscribe. I'll see you after the games.